like to live in Japan long term? So I said to her, yes, I would love to live in Japan. And then she asked me, how would that be possible? There's a marriage visa. And she seemed to really love the idea of us getting the marriage visa. It was the easiest way, it was the cheapest way to get me a visa to stay in Japan. So she said, what do you think about marriage? And I said, I guess I'd be okay with it. There was no grand proposal. She didn't get down on one knee and say, Daniel, will you marry me? I didn't propose. There was just nothing like that. It was very casual. She just said, do you want to get married? And I was like, okay. I was kind of surprised at how shockingly easy it was to get married. You just sign a piece of paper and then it's done, and then you wait for a bit.
Gross. There's something psychopathic about doing a marriage like this and not celebrating it. It makes me feel like the people have little confidence in it, which in this case turns out to be completely true, as Daniel says this next.
I thought getting married would be a great way to get people interested in my channel, and it would be a great idea for content. Imagine the shock on everyone's faces when I suddenly release a video announcing that I'm getting married to my girlfriend.
It's honestly shocking how little Daniel cares about other people or the direction of his life, particularly considering how self-aware he appears to be. But instead of using that self-awareness to fix things, he just ponders what the next drama will be because he got a bunch of views from saying he got married.
It did so well. It got over 100,000 views, which was like 10 times or 15 times more than what I was usually getting. But then after we got married and things settled down and I settled into married life, I think most people who are married can agree with me when I say that day-to-day married life is kind of boring and dull and uneventful, and I found it really hard to maintain the interest in my channel just from documenting my daily married life. It was getting boring and people were not watching anymore and the views were dropping, and I panicked and I had to think quickly, how can I get people to come back and stay interested? And the easiest answer to that was drama. The only reason the marriage lasted that long was because of the drama and because of how good the views were. I kept going back to her, even though I knew it was a mistake and I knew it was going to end eventually anyway. But I kept going back to her and I kept trying to keep the marriage afloat because the views were so good and people were still very interested even after a year of drama. And I knew that if I left the marriage and I didn't have anything interesting to pivot into, like a new relationship, then people would just lose interest.
Wow, I could not imagine marrying a person just to get 100,000 views. As someone who's been doing this for far less time than Daniel, I feel like there are many other ways to hit that view count that aren't so impactful on your life. There's also a difference between faking that you're arguing with your wife and faking that you cheated on her for drama views, and actually thinking that it's a good idea to do those things for real to get views, which Daniel did. I believe that Daniel has basically cheated on every girlfriend that he's had up to this point. That being said, you might be wondering why his ex-wife married him, and while we can't see what their personal life was like, I can imagine that it had a lot to do with her being 8 years older than him and being almost in her 40s. Japan is a very bleak place when it comes to relationships, and a lot of people end up single. They were married for around 2 years, and after several spells of them arguing and Daniel getting kicked out followed by his ex taking him back, they eventually divorced in 2019. It seems like Daniel sort of had mixed feelings on this. On one hand, he treated his wife like crap. He obviously didn't love her and wanted to get her out of his life, but on the other hand, he's very sentimental about her, to the point where he stalks her.
As some of you may know, I got into some trouble with the Japanese police earlier this year when I went to Japan, and it was basically because I was stalking my ex-wife, which I still disagree with. So they actually told me that I'm not allowed to talk about this on YouTube, but since I'm not in Japan anymore and they can't really tell me what to do, I'm going to tell the story anyway. And it all started when I was planning this trip to Japan and I really wanted to stay in a guest house, and I found this really cheap, decent looking guest house that was just 10 minutes walk away from where I used to live with my ex-wife in Japan. It's basically in the same neighborhood, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I just moved in down the street to my ex-wife? I didn't think she would be so upset or triggered about it. I thought she would also find it funny, but I guess I was kind of wrong.
What an excellent practical joker. Wouldn't it be funny if I just moved right next to someone who openly hates me and just, I don't know, maybe harassed her a little bit? The video is called I Got Into Trouble with the Japanese Police for Stalking My Ex-Wife, where Daniel doesn't think he was stalking, but when he describes what he did, he's very clearly stalking.
All I wanted to do was swing by the old apartment and check to see if the lights were on so I could confirm that she's still there or not. So I went to the apartment at around 8 p.m, expecting that she would be back from work and should be having dinner or getting ready for bed. But I go there and the lights are off, and I thought that's kind of weird. Maybe she's just doing overtime and she's back late. So I go to the park nearby and I sit there and I wait for about an hour. And then I go back to the apartment around 9 and the lights are still off. I do this again. I go back to the park, come back an hour later. So I have now waited for about 4 hours trying to achieve this mission. And I'm getting a little bit frustrated because I didn't want to have to go home and just have wasted 4 hours and not have found out what I wanted to find out. So I looked up, when is the last train coming? Because she would definitely be back on the last train. And I see the last train come. I waited about 5 or 6 minutes and I got up from the park, started heading towards her apartment, and there's no one on the street. It's completely dark apart from a few streetlights. And I turn the corner to enter the street that goes straight to her house. And I see the silhouette of a very small woman wearing a dress. And it looked just like her. And I followed her for about 30 seconds. And I see her go to the left towards the building we used to live in, and then she disappears. And I think, oh, that has to be her.
She found out that he was stalking her because he talked about it on a stream, and she immediately called the police. Also, maybe don't make this video in the first place, Daniel, because it's very clear that she doesn't want you talking about her. Violating people's boundaries and having no filter is why people don't want to be around you. It's why people don't call you and ask you how you are. For the third time, a part of me thinks that this is malicious and he knows what he's doing, but the amateur internet psychologist in me thinks he's autistic and doesn't understand this stuff internally. I fully thought that he was malicious until I saw the video of him stream stalking Chris Broad and geeking out, and then he did the same thing to Connor from Trash Taste.
Say hi to Chris for me.
Alright, we will do.
Thanks. I touched Connor.
I've been to enough conventions to know that that's how autistic people act. He should probably get a professional diagnosis so he can start learning how to behave in a way that's not so pathological to his life and the people around him. Going back to the abandonment issues, I also think that all this acting out where he shames his relationship partners in his videos and cheats on them is just a form of sabotaging those relationships so he can't be abandoned. If he cheats on the girl, well then she can never really abandon him because he was never emotionally attached to her anyway. I'm guessing he came up with this strategy after a short bout of depression he had after what sounds like his first breakup with an online girlfriend of 2 years that he never met in person.
On the day she said she wanted to break up, I remember running downstairs shouting, "She's breaking up with me, she's breaking up with me," to my mum. My mum was just sitting there, she didn't really care, she was just like, okay. And then my dad came home from work and he came up to my room to see if I was okay. And for the first time ever, I broke down in tears in front of my dad and I told him everything. After she broke up with me, I was in this complete state of depression. I was so depressed and I cried myself to sleep.
Refusing to emotionally connect with his relationship partners just ensures that Daniel will never have a real relationship. Though at this point, I'm not sure if there's really anyone other than himself that Daniel actually cares about, and it's very apparent in his content. Surprisingly, Daniel is actually a pretty decent storyteller, which is probably how he gets a decent amount of views despite putting very little effort into his content. He often hits the 10K view mark, which is good for a small channel. That being said, a lot of times his stories fall short of the desired runtime, and in order to make it to the 10-minute mark so he can put mid-roll ads into his video, he will just pad the runtime with random cooking content. Now, Daniel is a devout anime fan, which explains why he doesn't see blatant filler content as a massive middle finger to the audience. Anyway, he does a lot of cooking content on his channel, which can be quite often terrifying to watch. I'm surprised he didn't lose a finger in this video. His knife is too dull to cut that squash safely. But I think at least one of these cooking videos shows a different part of his character, which is that he will just give up the minute something becomes a little bit difficult or is out of his comfort zone.
So dirty. I don't think my girlfriend cleans this, ever. I guess I could clean it for her, since I don't have anything else to do. It's not actually possible to clean inside because I can't get underneath the grill and you can't take the grill off.
You can see that Daniel gives up cleaning at the slightest difficulty despite the fact that there is clearly a latch and frame right there that allows you to remove the grill. I don't know how he didn't see it. Has he never fixed something before? All of these kitchen electronics are designed to be taken apart so you can clean them. So I think that this moment blends very well into another I'm a loser video that Daniel has made.
You may have realized that I'm not a very ambitious person, and it's true, I'm probably the least ambitious person in the entire world. I don't have these big goals like buy a house, buy a car, earn a lot of money, get a good job. Not because I don't want those things. I would love to have a house and a car and a really fulfilling, well-paying job. It's just that to be able to get those things, I realized it requires so much hard work and so much dedication and so much time, energy, and effort to be able to get those things. And when I was ambitious at some point in my early life and I tried to get those things, I realized this is so hard. I don't know how I can do this. I can't do this. And I ended up just giving up or quitting anything I was doing in order to try and achieve those goals.
Now, let me just say that Daniel has spent a lot of his life moving out of his parents' house, followed by moving back into it. During one of the times that he moved back, he showed the house and it looks like he grew up very well off. This is the house that he grew up in. The yard is massive, and I believe it has a guest house too. I mean, if he doesn't completely destroy his relationship with his mom, he probably has a pretty large inheritance coming. I point this out because Daniel seems to have very little ability to put himself through any suffering. I imagine that he didn't have to push through many life hardships that would build character when he was younger, and any trouble he got into, his parents just bailed him out. There's evidence of that, as Daniel states that his mother bailed him out of $11,000 one year because he didn't save enough money from his YouTube income to pay for his taxes. Stuff like this explains how he's able to travel the world with seemingly no income, as his YouTube channel channel is not successful enough to live off of. It would also explain why Daniel doesn't know how to push past difficult challenges.
I moved to Japan, I got myself a simple job working at a convenience store, and even that was so difficult, I ended up giving up and just quitting all my dreams and just like trying to find a new way to live life without actually having ambitions, because it really hurts to have these big dreams and goals and realizing that you'll never be able to achieve them because it's so difficult and you just don't have the willpower or the mental strength to be able to stick to anything long enough to be able to achieve anything that's difficult.
I mean, you could if you were just consistent. He's not bad at YouTube, he's just not good at picking topics that people want to see on a regular basis. But he clearly has talent for some things. During this video, he said he passed the JLPT N2 test and almost passed the N1. For those of you who don't know what that is, the JLPT is a Japanese language fluency test that goes from N5 to N1, N1 being the highest level of fluency. While they don't test your speaking, you still have to be pretty good to almost pass N1. It's a tremendous amount of work to achieve that level of fluency in Japanese that takes years of study. But Daniel sees himself as a failure because he's not as good as other YouTubers.
Some people say I'm good at Japanese, and I'm okay at Japanese, but I'm not an expert. I'm nowhere near as good as people like the Anime Man or Dogen. Some of these people are really amazing at Japanese, and I'm not even close to their level.
First of all, Joey, or the Anime Man, is half Japanese, grew up speaking the language to his mom, and is very close to a native speaker. Of course he's better than you. Hitting that level of Japanese as a non-native speaker is extremely difficult. Second, Dogen is one of the best as well, and speaking Japanese is his job. You don't have to be that good to be considered a success. Daniel started studying Japanese almost 2 decades ago, and if he didn't have this defeatist attitude of, I'm only good if I'm the best, and if he didn't give up studying after he failed the JLPT N1 test in 2009 or 2010 or so, he probably would be good enough to do whatever he wanted with the language by now, considering how obsessed he was in his 20s. Daniel also has the same mentality with drawing.
People say I'm good at drawing, but I don't really enjoy drawing. I'm not sitting here every day drawing. I don't enjoy drawing. I'm okay at it because I spent a lot of years when I was younger doing it and practicing, but I'm not really good at it. I'm kind of amateurish at it. I did try to do a professional illustrating freelance job once, and I was told that my artwork was very amateurish and they decided not to use the artwork that I made for them. They paid me anyway, but I felt really depressed and down after it because I realized, yeah, my artwork is just not good enough for professional work. And I kind of gave up doing artwork.
It's crazy to watch him spend all that time to get good at drawing, and then he just gives up after one failure or one rejection. He did that with Japanese, too. This is stupid because it takes numerous embarrassing failures to achieve high amounts of success and become someone who is worth looking up to. So I maintain that Daniel quits at the slightest resistance, despite him being able to get pretty skilled at Japanese and drawing. I think he only did those things because he was obsessed with anime at 18, but once the obsession went away, the skills started becoming difficult and it was too much suffering, he gave up. This guy has unironically inspired me to work hard so I don't end up like him. So he's like Boogie, basically. At least the comment section is learning from Daniel's mistakes. As for him, though, he seems to have a decent idea of what's wrong, he just doesn't do anything with it.
So at this point, unfortunately, I've just kind of given up. I've tried so many things, and the same thing happens every single time. I get kind of into it, I get really obsessed with it. Like all I can think about is this new thing that I'm dedicating my life to. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to be the best YouTuber. I'm going to be the best video game coder. I'm going to be the best at Japanese. And then it gets a bit difficult and I give up. The same thing has happened over and over again. I don't think there's anything I've attempted in life that I haven't just given up on. So I feel like at this point, there's no point trying to achieve anything difficult because I know deep down I'm just going to give up and it's going to be a waste of time. So why even bother?
The kind of self-awareness that Daniel has can be an incredible tool, but what I've also noticed in my years is that there are a lot of people out there who have complete awareness of their behavior, yet not only do they not use it, but that knowledge can actually be a tool that they use to sabotage themselves.
High intelligence often is just people spinning their wheels in the mud. I have a capacity to rationalize myself
Be
to
an
myself
incredible
and
tool,
tell myself
but what
that
I've also
I'm
noticed in my
doing
years
the right
is that
thing,
there
when in fact I'm not.
are a lot of people out
and so that my intelligence is actually a tool for me to deceive myself. And I notice that in other intelligent people too.
Yes, intelligence can absolutely be used to aid in self-sabotage. Whatever self-awareness and intelligence that Daniel has is being used to garner sympathy from people when he doesn't deserve it, make justifications for his bad behaviors, or convince himself that giving up and doing nothing is the correct action.
So I just had to kind of readjust and rewire my brain into thinking that, yeah, I might be a loser and I might be broke and not have things like a car or house or a nice job or be respected, but at least I won't have to experience failure again. I experienced failure and it was so painful. I thought to myself, I tried something and I failed. It hurt. The lesson is never try again.
I don't really know what kind of failure that was, but generally, failure is not as bad as you think it will be, and usually it's not that bad at all. Despite having no friends, Daniel is actually quite good at getting women to date him, and he said his favorite strategy is to be super forward, and they will either accept or they'll say no.
If I feel like a friendship with one of these girls isn't going anywhere, I'll be really flirty with her, and she'll either like it, or in most cases she won't like it and she'll be upset. And she'll never talk to me again, and that's fine with me. It doesn't really bother me.
So in the case that they say no, he seems to be fine with those failures, but any failure that would eventually lead to his success, well, I guess that's just too much. It's almost like he likes being pathetic, like he's mentally ill but doesn't have the kind of mental illness that turns you into a good YouTuber. How unfortunate. Ultimately, it seems like Daniel should just kind of grow up and stop acting like a teenager in his mid-30s. I think that's what everyone's looking for, his viewers, his potential friends, and his relationship partners.
No one cares about me. No one likes me. And that actually hurts a lot.
After watching a ton of his content, I think that there's a part of him that thinks he's irredeemable because of what he's done in the past with things like cheating or lying to his YouTube audience about being homeless for views. But the reality is that people don't care. Just make videos that viewers want to watch and they'll watch you. Content is king and people will forget how much of an asshole you've been if you stop being an asshole and just make good videos. Daniel is already good at most of the creator skills required to be successful at YouTube. Most of his problem is that instead of doing regular uploads, he just rots on stream for 8 hours saying not really much of anything. And then when he does make content, he's just shit-talking people in his personal life and other YouTubers he wants to be friends with, which ensures that nobody will ever want to associate with him. It's really simple, Daniel. Stop crapping on people that you know, quit wasting time doing live streams that are basically 8-hour therapy e-begging sessions, and start doing regular uploads that include stuff that an audience would be interested in. Literally, the tragic flaw that harms Daniel's entire life is that he doesn't care about other people. If he actually did, then he would have no problem making friends, he wouldn't be in so many toxic relationships, and he probably would be an extremely successful YouTuber. Unironically, the thing that will fix his life is the same thing that he needs to be big on YouTube. Just make content that people want to see. If you don't know what that is, do research. This is YouTube 101. People who are good at this are constantly investigating to figure out what the next piece of content people will watch is. Honestly, I don't know why everyone is so allergic to researching things that pique other people's interest. I mean, there are people out there who will waste 4 to 8 years of their lives learning a skill that no one cares about, and often go in extreme debt for it because they don't want to spend a few days researching which of their interests have actual market value. The moral of the story is that if you want people to like you, if you want to be a success, then you need to actually care about other people. Anyway, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video. Awareness of their behavior, yet not only do they not use
to rationalize myself.
So today, this team we're scrimming. Yeah, you can start. They play a lot of weird champs. I'm gonna try and ban a couple of them, just so we're not playing against useless stuff. But this guy like is a Kane jungle main, so I think we'll. I know it's your champ house, but I think we'll ban it for the first few games at least. Yeah. I think we can just ban Rumble, Jace, Kane probably.
They banned
Jace. Well, we can ban Rumble, Kane.
Gator, you wanna tell everybody what happened in the scrims yesterday?
You got a pentakill, baby.
Damn right I did. Oh, I'm so sad it was off stream. It was such an amazing pentakill as well.
Cheers, everybody. Let's have a great bootcamp.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. He's cracking open a cold one.
Here we go.
Is it sugar-free or is it sugar?
Sugar-free. Otherwise, Tim would be very disappointed in me. I got bombastic side-eye before when I had fries.
Bombastic side-eye?
Bombastic side-eye.
You don't need top 10, it's okay with not, yeah?
I can counter everything in the game. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, what did they blind Shen? What's the counter?
Shen. Oh.
Well, why is it not banned?
I usually ban that champ in my solo queue games.
I have 1 stack. 5.
Kill.
I have no W, okay? I have 2 points Q, just so you know. Syndrome.
to get them. I use my W, careful.
There, no?
Wait, since out top or bot?
Top, yeah.
Top?
Yeah. I'll perma push. This guy doesn't contest anything.
Right now.
Oh,
Can somehow crash the wave.
Wait. Yeah. I don't have much info on Zine, but I think he's busted.
Coming Crony in case that is our look.
Should be able to see him on the moment right now.
Show gap his base TPing right now.
I'm thinking I wanna play the Echo 3. Syndra will be really weak this game. I'm gonna reward this right now.
Can't freeze there.
Do we know where Sinsa
Syndra
is?
really weak. We see
him on Raptor.
Syndra's base TPing.
Maybe I can go behind bot or freeze this wave bot.
Oh, that's insane. I'm
The
so...
basement. Granny will leash this or? It's good.
You can leave the freeze and go leash, honestly.
I think it's so.
I'm B, yeah.
We were
Am
fucking
I
bot.
blind? Didn't see the wall
I'm
behind me.
getting 6 after the scuttle. I think he's in the
I want first...
Sorry, it's first,
bot
okay.
and this.
Yeah.
He's in river.
Yeah, I think
as
we
well. Let's go tell Sin.
Coming. 2, 1. I have it now. What do you think?
Maybe slowly.
Yeah, slowly. I'm gonna die. Look at this. Bro.
Clear.
Sure.
I'm opening grubs.
Commit.
Sin is on
No.
bot. Catch me, then we did the rest.
Yeah.
Maybe even care bot, honestly.
So any fight is kind of
No,
bad. Ion could be back and going somewhere, so care guys. He's
Okay.
ulting top, he's ulting top.
Yeah, that's our top side, so maybe it's fine.
Taking one more wave than looking to B.
Go back bot. Syndra is playing super defensive here.
Blessing.
I'm 100% sure. The way they play. I think so too. But if you procs, you're dead by the way.
Are they here?
Yeah, then stop. Most likely.
I'm dead.
Syndra has TP now. What is the plan? You guys want to do?
I'm TPing top when I'm up.
Still. For torch? Yeah, I can ult, don't worry. Where is it?
Very good.
Stan is not
hover.
showing top, Stan is not
We
showing
are
top.
playing
Okay, he's here.
He's top.
He has TP, but I can get there. I just need next wave.
Bullet. Most likely free, but we don't know.
They're keeping on mid. They want to fight.
If we don't give them a fight, we win. If we don't give fight, don't give fight.
I'm going bot, then the call is to not fight.
Yeah, leave me.
I can look to ult on Syndra. Being somewhere
Syndra
top.
to Syndra.
We're gonna go left.
Are you fine mid? Is Senna Sams? I'm down to fight 2v3 honestly. We don't know Senna Sams.
Just hit thirds.
They're gonna kill you top house.
Yeah, they're looking on me.
Can we dive Sion? Is it possible? Not possible, right?
No. Yeah. No? No. He has MR item, no?
I can't.
I'm gonna take blue right now then. Top right? Yeah, Herald. I'll just... Syndra from top, care.
I'm dead.
I may be dying, but... I will stop his base. Zin cancel his base.
Maybe.
You're one or just give it.
I don't think they can take.
I'm B.
You can maybe kill her, no?
Yeah.
If I see Zin on top, I'm ulting mid. I think I'm on a ward.
I don't really see it, I'm gonna be honest.
45.
10 on no flash. Sign is holding.
I'm dead actually.
I think.
1 minute Drake.
Alistar behind, flank.
Everybody get out. We don't win this. Everybody get out. Sorry, Velia.
No, it's for.
Geil.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Weiß ich nicht, ich habe Video geguckt, also habe ich es nicht im Kopf. Nö, ich habe dann einfach gegessen und dann halt Video dabei geguckt.
No, but they're not here.
Same.
Geil.
Geht da, wa?
Es kann losgehen.
Rein in den Aal.
Rein in den Aal. War das jetzt?
Jetzt ahlen wir.
Nee, weil die Queue abgebrochen war.
Warum das denn?
Hier hat sich gemutet, vermutlich ist irgendwas.
Aha, na gut. Ja, dann musst du vielleicht auch sagen, dass wir die Queue wieder losmachen. Ne?
Danke.
We might be 16-3, but I don't even think we're that far behind.
Geil. Das ist auch nicht schlecht.
I'll defend bot.
They're bot by the way. Just maybe try to defend the Atakan.
Yeah. No flash.
Senna will be there eventually.
She's in.
Doing his ult by the way.
Kills in.
I couldn't.
Pig shutdown.
You need to play it now. For Atakan and Drake.
I think we should do what we did with Dragon and just started on spawn, honestly. With Feast, they can't, like we will always
They
get
probably
the
won't have that position. Or no?
No.
Silence.
Kill. Don't take my way. I need that.
I may be cooked.
Just try to protect two
I
or
think you should hit the tower, Imo. Like just take this way and try
the
to...
hovers. Yep.
I'm pushing bot, I'm gonna get bot tower. And then they might do the funny where they start chasing me.
Geht los.
I get bot tower.
It's straight, no? Can you try to kill this guy?
Zero chance.
Velia, if Syndra comes.
You have flash ult, come boss.
No, but they're gonna just take tier 2. Don't flip. This is free.
I'm gonna ult away.
Syndra's here. Can you come and kill her?
I'm
Alter, der gute alte Support-Schako.
Ja.
Und unser Botlaner will halt den Support-Sticks So die Utility Sticks.
Kaspersio.
Und Uckel.
Okay. Schwer autistisch alle.
Schwer autistisch. Ja, naja, so ist es eben. Geil.